Our last topic of conversation will be on spongiform encephalitis. There we go. Otherwise commonly known as the mad cow disease. Although this disease has a very, very funny name, there's nothing funny about it. If you think about the name, encephalitis means brain. And we all know what a sponge is, especially this disease, which comes from eating from an infected cow, makes your brain into a sponge, full of holes. If you've seen any films of cows with mad cow, they're shown usually as trembling and stumbling to stand up, with their head kind of jerking around. This disease basically turns you into a zombie. You're still alive, but your brain is pretty much gone. An interesting point about this disease is that it was basically caused by cannibalism. That is, cows were being fed other cows and sheep as protein to fatten them up or to prior to slaughter. Well, this disease started showing up in cows in the 1980s and made a jump to humans. The primary bulk of cases were in the UK, where 157 have died as of 2004. However, this disease has occurred in other countries. The bad thing about this disease is that some scientists believe that the symptoms may not show up for up to 15 years. Also, it's been believed that you're most likely to get it from eating ground beef, which is hamburgers, and also from inhaling bone meal, which is used for gardening, and if I'm correct, in a lot of dog foods. So, based on this, do you think we should start being more careful, or maybe even stop eating hamburgers or other beef products?
As much as I love hamburgers, I have to say that we should either stop or lessen the consummation of beef. And if you have to have beef, then you should cook it full, better, so that you don't get a disease from it.
I think a big problem will be these giant companies like McDonald's and all these other big burger companies, because this is where they make all their money, and so they're going to try their best to lessen the situation, and just because people are going to do it anyway.
Yeah. You think about it, it's a very, very serious situation, but you think, well, I couldn't give up hamburgers. I couldn't give up, well, I'm sure my dogs couldn't survive without eating dog food, so that means I'd have to give them table scraps, and what would that do? That'd make them fat. But besides the point, I think that it would be necessary, but you would have some people that nevertheless, they would still be eating, and they would still be eating hamburgers. So the problem is that if it can spread from one person to the other, and your friend, say the person you know is still eating hamburgers, it's not fair for you, but you can't enforce the law unless everybody's going to follow it. So I think it's interesting that sometimes you'll hear a case about a cow being found that has mad cow. However, the news accounts never really explain fully what this disease is and why we should be concerned. Do you think the news media does a good job of explaining some of these bioagents to the general public, or do you think they don't?
I don't think they go into depth that well. I personally think they should explain more about the seriousness of it and show video clips of what it does to people, because they really don't explain that well.
I think it helps to keep from mass hysteria and maybe people going crazy over a disease that they don't think they should be going crazy over, and moreover, it probably would hurt the industries of processing cows and making money for the government in general.
Yeah. If you think they may not, what do you think some of the reasons may be?
They probably don't want a public panic, or they might be trying to help other industries maintain their profits. Because if they were to say beef is really dangerous for you, then people would stop buying hamburgers. A lot of people. So I think they just don't want to panic.
And I don't think the situation is grand enough now that the United States is going crazy over a pandemic of mad cow disease. But when the time comes, I think they will start talking more about it, which is a shame.
Yeah, I believe that a lot of the times the media doesn't tell us everything that they know, because if they did, we would probably be running around like chickens with our heads cut off. I mean, we wouldn't be calm. As you said, there would be a lot of businesses in the food industry that would go out of business, as if with anything else that you were to find that would be negative about the situation. That concludes our show for today, and thank you for tuning in to the 411 show.